As soon as we pulled back, 2 enemy artillery rounds landed right next to us. That was a direct strike nearby. The crew of an American M101 Howitzer came within seconds of being wiped out by counter-battery fire. If the Russians had scored a direct hit, the results would have been catastrophic. Ukrainian gunners have brought back to life a battlefield legend, a howitzer that saw action in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. But can this antique still be trusted in the most critical moments of modern war? After all, it was born in the 1940s. We'll find out, and the answer is waiting for you at the end of this video. Before reaching Ukraine, the M101 traveled a long and winding road. In the 1970s, the US Army transferred the howitzers to Denmark. Then they went to Lithuania, and only after Russia's full-scale invasion did they arrive in the hands of Ukrainian artillerymen. Sounds like a Cold War road movie, doesn't it? But let's get serious. There's no rest for this gun. These days, its barrel barely cools before a new target appears on the horizon. It's incredibly accurate. In one day, the most we've fired is 235 rounds. When the enemy is pushing in, we can't let them through. The enemy has to be destroyed. Today, the M101's fire is corrected by drones, something the original designers could never have imagined. In their time, war wasn't this fast, this dynamic.
101, A2.
This is the M101A2 howitzer, caliber 105 millimeters. Right now, we're firing at distances of 5 to 6 kilometers. We're corrected by drones, so we can quickly find targets and adjust fire. I like this gun because it's light and mobile. If they spot us, we can relocate fast. The crew also uses a clever night aiming trick: flashlights.
Нічна точка наводки.
At night, we set up our aiming point using flashlights, turn them on and adjust by them. 3 flashlights in a line make aiming more precise. We used to work with just 1, but we realized 3 gives us better accuracy. Because of constant Russian assaults, the crew has to pull round-the-clock shifts to be ready for immediate fire missions. The lives of the infantry in their sector depend on their vigilance.
Вони постійно лізуть зараз.
They keep coming. Right now, we're repelling attacks. At night, it's less intense. Mostly they start from 4 a.m. and keep going until 8 or 9 p.m. After that, small groups might move in, but the heavy fighting runs from morning until evening. Hit the like button so this video reaches as many people as possible. Unfortunately, in war, there's never a 100% guarantee you'll silence the enemy. The Russians won't just give up. They keep hunting for M101 positions.
Вчора попали під контрбатарею.
Yesterday we came under counter-battery fire. They worked us over, started shelling our position. So what keeps this crew going under constant fire? It's not just duty. In the Ukrainian army, brotherhood comes first. Over the course of service, and especially during war, comrades become something more. They become family, a crew that eats together, fights together, and survives together. And the guys on this M101, they're no exception. One of them was nearing the end of his mandatory conscript service. So, did he pack his bags and leave? No, he stayed. Because walking away would have meant leaving his brothers behind.
Мене просто поставили перед вибором.
They gave me a choice. Either I go back to Odessa, stay a conscript, and wait around for who knows what, or I sign a contract and stay with my guys. I didn't think long. We got together, talked it through. None of us wanted to stay as conscripts. We decided we'd stick together, like one big family. Another crew member had already gone through hell in the infantry, holding defensive positions and going into dangerous assaults, where the risk of losing your life is just part of the job. Here's how long he's been at the front.
І постійно в артилерії.
2.5 years. And always in artillery? No, I was a year in the infantry. From the very start of the war, I was in assault infantry. How did you end up in artillery? It's my specialty. I did my conscript service as an artilleryman, so I went into it by trade. Because of his infantry background, he understands exactly how critical artillery is. A well-placed barrage can silence enemy fire and save dozens of lives. When round after round is flying toward the enemy, the infantry feels that support and gains the confidence to keep pushing. We believe that on the battlefield, artillerymen and infantrymen are the best of friends. Do you agree?
Кажуть, побувай в піхоті, а потім ти...
As they say, serve in the infantry first. Then you'll know exactly how to cover your brothers. So we work, no slacking. We cover the infantry as best we can. The blood of the infantry is the sweat of the artillery. And how far does that commitment go? sometimes all the way into what feels like a movie scene. During one M101 combat mission, Russian and Ukrainian guns went head-to-head in a brutal counter-battery duel. A few seconds difference, and lives would have been lost on both sides. But did the Ukrainian gunners stop there? Not a chance. While 105mm shells rained down to suppress the enemy, Ukrainian troops used that cover to pull off something wild. They stole a Russian tank. Sounds like Hollywood? Like Saving Private Ryan? Maybe. But this one was 100% real.
Повертаючись після роботи.
On the way back from working with the gunners of the 15th Karadag Brigade, we found out two things. First, right after we pulled back, enemy artillery landed 2 rounds right near us. That was a direct strike close by. Second, we learned that at the same time our artillery was firing, the 15th Brigade was using that cover to load up, basically steal, a Russian tank they'd been using to block the road. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more of Ukrainian frontline stories. Another M101 Howitzer crew is stationed on the Eastern Front, where the Russians don't spare their KAB-guided bombs, pounding the sector where Ukrainian artillery operates. To stay alive, the men have built a cozy dugout, not only a shelter during attacks, but also a place to rest and recover. When your mind and body are pushed to the limit, such a dugout feels like a paradise island.
Тому це все зробити.
We try to make everything as good as possible. Equip the dugout with the basics for service so it's warm. We've got comms, a radio station, Starlink, and the bare essentials for cooking so we don't go hungry while on duty. Before mastering the American gun, this soldier earned his baptism of fire on the Soviet-era D-30 Howitzer, inherited by Ukraine's armed forces after the USSR collapsed.
На даній гарматі я працюю.
I've been working on this gun for 3 months. Before that, I spent a year on the D-30, also as a gunner. His time on the D-30 gave him the basics, skills he could adapt to operating modern Western artillery. Here's what he says about the similarities and differences.
Схоже в цих двох дуже багато схоже практично.
Of course, a lot is similar. Almost everything, really. The M101 is even easier in some ways, because here you've got 2 gunners. One handles the traverse, the other sets the sight for range. That makes it easier? Yes, in one way it does. But with the D-30, you do everything yourself. Set the range, set the traverse, aim. Here, you have to check with your partner, make sure he's ready. You have to sync with each other. His crew targets enemy infantry and fortifications, holding back assaults and breaking up storm groups before they can even reach Ukraine's infantry lines.
Працюємо по скупченню живої.
We mostly work on concentrations of manpower, recon spots where they're gathering, maybe in a house, a basement, a tree line. We get the coordinates, quickly aim in, adjust, and fire. If the target's destroyed, we hide and head to cover. One of the strangest targets the M101 has hit in Ukraine? Russian biker assault troops. And light vehicles don't get off easy either.
Працювали і на максимальній.
We've worked the gun to its max range. 10 kilometers, also at 8 and 7 kilometers. Anywhere we have targets and correction. We mostly hit infantry, even in cover. But we've had motorcyclists roll in. We work them over too. Light armored vehicles, pickups, whatever shows up. The hardest job for the M101 crew is hitting moving targets. But that doesn't mean Russians can relax. If they've been in a pre-registered kill zone, there's already a nasty surprise waiting.
На ходу це важко попасти.
It's hard to hit Russian bikes on the move. Usually we aim at an intersection or a spot we've already dialed in, so when they arrive, we're ready. If you want to hear an incredible story about how Ukrainian gunners on the L119 took out moving vehicles, click the link in the top corner of your screen. But for now, let's figure out if 105mm from the M101 is really enough on the battlefield. Here's what one Ukrainian soldier thinks.
Ви знаєте, я теж думав, що
You know, I thought the same, that it wasn't enough. But then they sent us footage of our work. I saw the mushroom cloud rising after we hit. No, it's enough. More than enough. The M101 can fire high explosive fragmentation, armor piercing, spotting, cluster fragmentation, and smoke shells. In Ukraine, they mainly use just 2 types.
здебільшого це осколок.
Mostly we fire frag shells. That's the most common. If we need to drive them, the Russians, out of cover, then we switch to HE. You can switch it. Sure, like with any shell, the fuse has settings. You set it, and that's it. When it comes to rate of fire, the crew jokes it all depends on the day.
Кажеш, тут в залежності від дня буває.
Oh, you can't really say for sure. Some days we might sit half the day with a cigarette. Other days, we're drenched in sweat. We're sure you, like us, are impressed by the age of this howitzer. So what's the secret behind its longevity? It's all about round count and timely maintenance. These guys take meticulous care of their gun, never skipping a cleaning.
В залежності від настрілу, якщо стріляє.
Depends on the number of rounds. If we haven't fired much, then once per shift. When we hand over the shift, we pass it on clean. It all depends on the round count. At this point, it's safe to say the M101 is old but gold. If you maintain and care for it, it can still deliver outstanding results, even with its age. It's a perfect example of skilled artillerymen giving new life to hardware that really belongs in a museum.
Звісно, можна. Основне це
Of course, it can serve. The main thing is regular maintenance. Clean it on time. Top up the recoil system oil on time. If you stay on top of all that, it'll keep serving and serving. The American M101 loses to the Soviet 122mm D30 in caliber, but Ukrainians still give it the crown thanks to its accuracy, rate of fire, mobility, and compact size. And what about you? What's the M101's greatest strength? Drop your answer in the comments.